Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Koholoyim Lahi Hawa. Bahashim Yahushai. Bahashim Kahakadash. Give honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Well, led by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akhwafes out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachan on the walk, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And, just a little ride and drive, something that I was meditating on. Esau, which is the biblical name for the so-called white race, you know what I'm saying? They have it great in their kingdom, even though they're falling off. They're falling off bad right now, but the joy that they've had in their kingdom, they've had a great run, They really had a great run. And so I was, was at the plantation earlier, and these two older Edomites, I worked with one of them. Well, I actually worked with both of them, but one of them is, I guess what you would say is my actual partner, you know what I'm saying? So me and him had to partner up because his partner or whatever, was off or whatever. But anyway, long story short, another guy that I normally deal with, I pull up on him, you know what I'm saying, and because I had to get some parts or whatever for this particular project or whatever. And the partner guy, he was with me, which he's never with me, you know what I'm saying. It just so happened today because the partner that he works with normally is off again. So they know each other, they live in the same community, and they talking about how they both have, you know what I'm saying. One of them is saying he had 2 ponds and shit, you know what I'm saying, in the back of his property. He didn't say backyard, he said in the back of his property. The other one was like, yeah, I have a big pond in the back of my property, you know what I'm saying. And so, and it's another city, you know what I'm saying, like, they drive, these Edomites, man, they be driving all the way from, places like Canada to get to, where we are, basically, and that's a nice ride. You come across the border, go through all that shit, you know what I'm saying, and then get all the way here into the city and pass through a few different cities to actually get here, but, these Edomites are living good, man, they have these yards where they have these, these big ass barns where they have to keep like real equipment in there, like big ass tractors and shit like that to cut their grass, I don't know if you're familiar with those ones that you might see on the side of the freeway or something like that. They got these big ass, they're tractors with the big ass spindle blades on the back of them. Back in the days they used to call them bush hog. I'm not sure what they call them now, but like that's what they cut their grass with. In the meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just in the hood, trying to cut my little grass with my little lawnmower, which only takes me about 10 minutes, 15 minutes best, But it just dawned on me, like the type of houses that they have, the kind of land that they live on. They even had another Edomite, because I mainly work with Edomites. And he was showing me all these photos of his place, just how extensive, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's living on, 30, 40 acres, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how Esau get down. But saying all that, we're under those curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. So saying all that to say that this is their kingdom, man. And for these, you have Israelites right now that have been talking about how, these other nations are going to be saved. But, you have to ask, like, saved from what? They already doing good. This is their kingdom. It's us that's, paying some damn slumlord over exorbitant rent and not getting any repairs or anything like that done, you know what I'm saying, and with the possibility of evictions on our damn ass at every moment, so we're under those curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai for taking care of us, and providing us with a place to stay, and that's why we should be more thankful anyway, appreciative of being content with what we do have, because we get up and do the basics, the stoic style lifestyle, our daily bread. That's what we should be looking forward to. All this trying to live it up on Esau's side, man, it's not going to work for us. And that's where a lot of our people get into trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of our women are doing really bad right now too, because the so-called white man has fooled them into, you know, getting these educations and telling them that you don't need a man. And now all of a sudden, you know, they try and move to these places where Esau is situated at. And when things get bad, now all of a sudden they got to shut down shop and try and get back to, you know, the hood, so to speak, and fall back on their people, which is, you know, what a lot of them are doing these days anyway. But just touching on the fact that what these guys was talking about as far as their properties, it took me back to something I seen yesterday, which I was at well, not an appointment, but I was, you know, going to check on something, and, you know, there's a little wait. So as I'm sitting there, you know, they had like these big Jumbotron TVs and shit, and they had I think it was the Home and Garden TV show. But anyway, I think these were maybe Elamites, you know, like the Indians, you know, with the so-called, you know, the so-called Indians, East Indians with the dot on their head. Some 7-Eleven owners, you know what I'm saying? Them that own the damn motels and hotels, you know, them. But they had a segment on the show with a husband and wife. I think they had like 2 children, 2 little small children. And, you know, they were pretty much trying to sell this home that they were in. And they was shitting on the home. I'm talking about big, beautiful home. And they was talking about that crib like it wasn't shit. They was like, no, we gotta move. It's not our dream home. You know, it's just, you know, something for now. But, you know, they was, you know, so it was that segment of the show. I guess they was trying to sell it. And people, you know, was coming in. And they were talking about the home as well. But everybody was shitting on this home. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, that's a big, stupid-ass crib. Big, stupid-ass bathroom, bedrooms, and you know, to us, or at least for me, it would have been, that's immaculate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, shit, I have no problems with that. You know, but I guess that's me being in the spirit where, hey, I don't have no problems. I can live out of a damn tiny crib. One of these little tiny ass homes, I can live out of one of them bitches. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'll live, you know, I can live out of my fucking vehicle. I wouldn't give a fuck. But you know what I'm saying? You know, of course, we're thankful to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua again for blessing us, you know what I'm saying, with a roof over our head, food to eat, and clothing on our backs. But this is Esau's kingdom. Even the heathen are here in America doing far better than you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And they're foreigners, man. And if you've been here for hundreds of years, they come here and just get the best of everything, man. So I'm just pulling into this little mart real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Grab up some more fruits, vegetables, and shit like that. But, you know, I just wanted to just do something real quick, man. Because it just that dawned on me, like, the way that they was shitting on that house, as nice as that house was to me, I'm talking about beautiful home, bro. Nice neighborhood. Of course, it was an Edomite neighborhood or whatever, but they were just shitting on that crib like, man, this is not it. This is not us, man. We got to do better. You know, this is just, you know, temporary. We're going to sell this and we out. This is not our dream home, you know. And that motherfucker was 3 stories with the basement, like 4 bedrooms. It had 2 baths. Each one bathroom was like a master bedroom. And that motherfucker had a damn tub the size of my damn truck. You know what I'm saying? Then the other bathroom, it actually had a, you know, it was like a full bathroom with a tub in it as well. You know? Then you know, I think they had like, you know, what they call a half a bathroom. But, you know, big stupid ass, well, I think it was a two car garage. It had a separate laundry room. It had one of those step down living rooms, you know, where you walking on the main level, but you're taking a few steps down to get into the living room. It was a nice crib. The kitchen was immaculate, but they was just like, you know. And then the other couple that came in to buy the home, they was shitting on the home like, yeah, you know, everything is outdated. And I'm looking like, well, what the fuck is wrong with the, you know? But that's, you know, that's that mindset that we have from being in captivity for so long, because I guess when it straight comes down to it, for us, even in our kingdom, yeah, that's gonna be a piece of fucking crap. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just, you know, that hit me, and I was just like, when these guys is talking about their properties and their, you know, their lakes, you know, because they live off the river as well. They can just walk right in their backyard and fish. You know, And that's the way that Esau is living, because the scriptures talks about how he was given the fatness of the earth. He's blessed with that sword, but you know they got plenty of rifles. You know them Edomites, they sitting on every kind of weapon you can think of in places like that, because they have so much land, no one is there to bother them. They're not all bunched up together like how we are. You see? So to you, Jake, that's out here, you want to save this man? Well, go ahead and try and save him, man, and see where that gets you, because their ass is going directly into captivity. They will never be able to talk about my property in our kingdom with no personal ponds and lakes and rivers and shit where they can go and fish. No, they won't have that, man. They be lucky if they have a damn shack, man. Just the size of themselves. They'd be lucky if they have anything to sleep in at all, in our kingdom, the way that they've treated us, man. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwame Yasser Allah in the Bible Ball.